In ancient Greek mythology, the Griffins were said to be the hounds of Zeus. Half eagle, half lion, the beasts have guarded great treasures throughout time.
So thank you guys for being in here. We're going to be doing our February treasury report, and after that, we'll be talking with Alien Supper Club. So that's going to be exciting stuff. I'm sure we'll have a lot to chat and throw back and forth. So just for context for anyone who's new here, we hold monthly treasury reports. We post them to our Twitter and Discord and our Gitbook as well, and we do a call where we discuss them. It's basically like an earnings call. You can consider it like that. And our treasurer Noah and our president Austin work on building those out and discussing them with you guys. So we're going to be doing that for the first around 20 to 30 minutes. I don't foresee it going that long. And then after that, like I said, we're going to be getting into an AMA with Alien Supper Club. So thank you guys for showing up. I'll let Austin, our president, do a little brief intro of who we are, and then we'll get into that report. By the way, my name is Matt. I'm the creative director and artist behind Griffins, and I'll throw it to Austin.
Hey there, everybody. I'm Austin Kirkendall, president of Griffin Investments DAO. Just a quick overview of our project. We aggregate community revenues into a investment fund. So what that means is whenever we raise money from mint sales, in the future any royalties, even if we did special projects like merchandise selling, all those revenues will go into our DAO's treasury, and will be forming an investment fund that gets managed by both, primarily by the team. Definitely leverage our community and keep them informed on what we're investing in. They can propose certain investment ideas, and we can hold elections for DAO members. We released our February Treasury report today. This is the first monthly report that we've released. The monthly reports are a little less in depth, especially this one because it's our very first report. So we also have quarterly and annual reports. So the March report will be a quarterly report. That'll be more in depth, showing our Treasury's balance sheet, income statement, and statement of cash flows. This is just a very brief overview of kind of the Treasury's balance sheet. And in future monthly reports, we'll also have an investments page that shows our portfolio and the performance of our investments over time. But I think Matt has attached the tweet at the top here that shows our February Treasury report. So if you guys do want to check out that tweet and follow the link to this report, I'm just going to go over it pretty quickly. Again, this first month's report is going to be pretty simple, not a lot to go into. Just at some highlights, our two main assets are cash and SOL. We have raised $2,600 cash and 35.43 SOL. That comes to a total of $5,782. All of that revenue is raised from just these early mint sales this month. We have what's called some non-current assets in there. We have 30 Griffin NFTs, which are retained in our treasury. These Griffin NFTs are owned by all of the treasury shareholders. These Griffins also have shares attached to them, but those shares do not become active until the collection sells out. I'll be going into a little bit more detail about active and non-active shares in just a second. We also have one NFT in our treasury. That partner NFT is from NFT for a Cause. Really cool project. They do a lot of charity work, and they helped us set up some Discord bots and some sales bots. So big shout out to those guys. If you include both the current and non-current assets of our treasury, the total is $8,565. A quick point here: I made this report this morning, or I added the price of SOL this morning. It was at $89.80. It's now up to almost $96. So even in just a few hours, that total, I think we have easily over now $6,000 of current assets. For now, we're pretty overweight SOL, mainly because, I went into this a little bit earlier, but we sell each Griffin for one SOL. So if SOL goes down, at least our NFT items are cheaper for our community to buy into. If SOL's price rises a lot and we've swapped out of a lot of SOL into cash, now our NFT items are a little more expensive for our community members, and we're not seeing a benefit to the treasury from those gains in SOL. So right now we are a little bit overweight SOL to cash. And then let me touch on really quick. So this project we have, the treasury is managed and held by a real U.S. entity, a business entity called Griffin DAO Asset Management. We've been going through the process of getting a brokerage account for this corporation. It's taken a little longer than we expected, but it's not that big of an issue. We do expect within this week, though, we'll be deploying a lot of capital into traditional U.S. equities, international equities, and then also buying into some other blockchain projects and cryptocurrencies as well. But so right now we're kind of sitting in SOL and cash. As we find investment opportunities that we really like, we'll be converting some of that cash definitely to equities, and then maybe selling out of some SOL into cash. But we'll be going over that in Discord as we're deploying that capital. Okay, looking at liabilities, there we don't have any. The DAO has no debt at this time. And then we'll go down to this treasury shareholder page. So I'm going to start just quickly talking about the difference between active and inactive shares. So that the treasury, the total treasury asset number you see, that $8,565, that's only split up among active Griffin or active treasury shares. So if you look at the second page of our treasury report, there's 780 active treasury shares. So those are the only shares that have any claim to our treasury assets. Active treasury shares are backed by the DAO's treasury and receive quarterly SOL airdrops. Inactive treasury shares are not backed by the DAO's treasury and do not receive any form of reward. So that's kind of the difference between active treasury shares and inactive treasury shares. As a reminder, March is the first quarter. So we'll be looking at possibly sending out a SOL airdrop to our active treasury shareholders at that time. Kind of depending on our investment earnings next month. We may start with a pretty low level as far as the SOL airdrop reward, but we're hoping we can continuously increase that over time as our treasury grows and as our earnings grow. You see some of the inactive treasury shares we have are unminted Griffin shares. So those are obviously from all of the Griffins that have yet to been minted. Founder Griffin shares, treasury Griffin shares, and giveaway Griffin shares. So the treasury Griffin shares are the ones I highlighted earlier, the 30 Griffins that we're holding within the treasury that are, again, collectively owned by all active shareholders. Giveaway Griffin shares are any Griffins we've given away. And founder Griffin shares are 200 Griffins that were retained for the founders. Again, all of these inactive Griffins, the shares attached to them do not have any ownership over the treasury assets until we sell out the Griffin collection. If we look at net changes from the previous report, we see that we have raised another $1,300. On net, we've lost 1.14 SOL, and we've added that one partner NFT. So what that shows you is we've sold out of some SOL to add to our cash, but we've also raised quite a bit of SOL as we've sold out of cash. So that just shows that net difference. The previous report was our initial report published a little less than 2 weeks ago. So if you want to look at the initial report, you can see some of the bigger changes we had since the project started. Again, this is only a couple weeks difference. So this net changes isn't very significant. In the future, this net changes is on a month-to-month basis. And then if you look at the differences in the shareholders, we've added 180 shares of new minted Griffins, and we have reduced 204 unminted Griffin shares. I will say that, so from the initial report, about a couple weeks ago, we had 50 Griffins minted by the public. Today, we have 65 Griffins minted, and that's still only 3% of the Griffin collection. We wanted to start this project with an open mint to let the earliest followers have a chance to get in and be a part of the project. We do expect to see continuous community growth. We aren't going to open up to secondary market listing until we sell out of this collection. We hope that we can do that in the next 1 to 2 months as we can continue to grow. As a team, it's kind of our expectation that plenty of people will see the project and maybe sit on the sidelines. But once the following kind of hits a tipping point, once we have enough members in Discord, you'll see continuous buying and then accelerated buying. And so we do think it is very possible to sell out once we hit a certain level of community growth. If we find that more and more continuously difficult to do, like I said, a burn is on the table for our total supply, but we hope we don't have to go that route. We do want to raise as much capital as possible for the DAO's investments. I think that is it today. Like I said, in the future monthly reports, we are going to have an investments page, which will show a more detailed breakdown of our portfolio and also our performance. But since this was our first month, our performance is basically 0% because all the assets you see have been raised through mint sales, and our portfolio is just in cash and SOL as we wait to get that corporate brokerage account. But we do expect to get that this first week of March. So I think that's it for the February report. If anybody has any questions, feel free to request to speak. I'll pass it back over to Matt now.
Yep. So thank you, Austin. If anyone else has any questions, like you said, feel free to ask now. Otherwise, we're going to hop over and bring up Alien Supper Club. So we're very excited to talk to you guys today. I think we have some parallels, as I was saying earlier, that really are going to be some interesting things to talk about. So let me start off with, I see we have two Alien Supper Club profile pictures in here. Who am I talking to?
Yeah, so this is Jim. I'm the founder and the developer of the Alien Supper Club project. How you doing today?
How's it going, Jim? I'm doing
Good.
well. I'm doing well. So, and then who is the other Alien Supper Club in here?
I'm Tyler. I'm Tyler. I'm on the team. I'm just here as a secondary speaker.
Okay, awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys being here. Why don't we start off by I saw you guys pinned a tweet above. I love the art. I think I would love to speak to the artist if we can maybe do that in a future call too. But love what you guys are doing. It's very unique. I think the whole process of, I know you're setting up your DAO and doing rewards that through them. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit. What's your plans with that?
You mean with the DAO itself?
That's right.
Yeah. So the DAO is basically going to be a group effort to reinvest in Solana projects, whether it be NFT projects or maybe other Web3 development that's going on the Solana blockchain. Basically, a way to kind of like what you guys are doing, investing in these types of items, and whether it be the coins itself or the NFTs or the projects, to try to get a return longer term in these. So with a lot of people that are newer to the NFT space right now, it's hard coming in and really getting into some of these high ticket value projects, these expensive NFTs you see out there, like the D Gods, the Stone Ape Crew, and all those. So this is an interesting way for folks to get in, kind of pull these resources together and invest in some of these larger NFTs that really have I would think a better ability to grow in value in a short amount of time, to increase the actual value of our treasury. So giving these folks the ability to do that I think is something that I haven't seen in the Solana NFT space yet. I mean, there's so much out there, I could be wrong, but for people I've spoken to, it seems to be something unique. So that's the main goal, just to grow the value and to return that, the proceeds back to our members. Because again, the DAO is going to be funded by these different collections that we release over the next year or so. We have our second collection that's actually going to public mint on Wednesday, and that's the Lost Aliens collection. It's kind of a follow-up to the original Alien Supper Club. So, and then after that, we have at least 3 more collections planned after that. So the proceeds from each of these mintings, 50% of the profits after we take out the expenses and all that good stuff, that's going to go straight to the treasury. And then also 2.5% of our secondary market sales go into the DAO treasury as well.
Yeah, that's so we love that. I'm curious, like, so you have is it a token, right? I saw something about you guys giving out a token.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it it gets a little convoluted. So I'll step you guys through it. So the initial Alien Supper Club project was 200 NFTs that were minted. What we have is our IPCC coin, which obviously correlates to our IPCC DAO. For those who don't know, the IPCC stands for Interplanetary Crypto Council. That's just the name we came up with. So we have those IPCC coins, and what we do for Alien Supper Club NFT holders, every month we do an airdrop of those coins to holder wallets. Now, obviously, they have to be holding the NFT in their wallet when we do the snapshot every month. But what we do is we airdrop 100 of these IPCC coins per Alien Supper Club NFT to each holder. So yesterday, for example, we did our March airdrop a couple days early so that we could help out with what I'll explain to you the next part of these coins is these IPCC coins can then be traded in for whitelist tokens that will allow them to mint new projects for free, basically free of charge. Of course, they have to pay the Solana transaction fee, which is like $1 right now, based on SOL price. So what we did for this Lost Aliens collection is, for every whitelist token you wanted to claim, you basically have to pay for them with 200 IPCC coins. So again, we did that airdrop yesterday, and now our Supper Club holders are claiming those free whitelist tokens, so they can get Lost Aliens for no price. So that's one of the big holder benefits for these Alien Supper Club NFTs, and I think that's going to be a strong factor for the increase of the value of these Alien Supper Club NFTs as we move forward. Just because, I can tell you there's some people that claimed 20 free mint tokens with IPCC they saved up because they had a lot of aliens in their wallet. You figure 20 20 free of these lost aliens, which are going to be minting to the public for 0.51 Sol. To make it easy, say Sol was $100, you mint 20 of them. That's a good amount of money you're getting, in value for free, minting 20 of those guys. So, again, it's just a great benefit that the holders enjoy. And as we move forward, we are going to have another token. There's going to be a community token called Lobo. It's going to be associated with this next drop lost aliens. We're going to allow holders to stake their lost alien NFTs and earn Lobo, which will actually be tradable on Radium on a USDC market. So they can actually trade that in for cash or convert it to Sol or whatever they'd like. So there's different tiers here, and it gets a little convoluted. But with each project that we roll out, we're going to be looking at unique utilities for each one to try to dip our hands in everything. We're going to be looking at getting into the metaverse. We're going to be looking at play to earn gaming. Really spreading our wings out there to touch as much as we can to create as much value, because again, it all comes back to this Alien Supper Club project that really has given our holders, our true Genesis original OG holders, a lot of the benefits over all these coming projects.
Yeah, I love that, man. It's great you're bringing value to your community in that way with the whitelist spots. And you're right, it's a lot of money to have free mints like that. I'm curious though. So you were talking about how your DAO maybe, or your project may be investing in other collections under other NFT projects through a treasury mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
How are you informing your followers or your community on that? And then are you leveraging them to vote on what sort of projects you're getting into, or is it more like a decision that you kind of make and then let them know?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. So, and again, I haven't had a chance to fully, and that's actually coming this week. So I got some alpha for you guys. So what we're going to be doing for the DAO is we're going to be utilizing a DApp called Squads. And what Squads is basically an app that allows for on-chain voting and on-chain governance for DAOs. So there's two different flavors that they have available, and we're actually going to use a combination of the two, because unfortunately the two flavors they have don't fit exactly what I envision this being. So we're going to do it in two different ways. So the first thing is what they call Squads version 1. And by the way, I think you can get to them. It's I forget what they just changed their website. It's squads dot something. I can get you guys that info later. But so their Squads version 1 basically is a team or a squad app that you would join, but it's gated by NFT ownership. So if you go to this Squads website and log in with your wallet that contains your Alien Supper Club NFTs, it'll automatically pop up as saying, "Oh, you're a member of this DAO. Click here to hop in." Once you hop in, there's a whole dashboard that gives you all the current proposals. It'll allow you to create a proposal, vote on proposals, and that's what we're going to use for actually our members to present proposals. Let's say, "Oh, look, I propose that we buy 3 stoned apes," right? And then the rest of the members get to vote on whether or not they agree and want to move forward with that. What's nice about the Squads NFT-based DAO is that basically every Alien Supper Club token or NFT that you hold, it counts as one vote. So if you hold 10 Alien Supper Clubs in your wallet, you get to vote 10 times for whatever you want. So the more aliens you hold, the more influence you have over the results of proposals, which is pretty interesting. It's another mechanism to make people want to hold and buy as many of these as possible. So then once we get an actual confirmed, agreed upon proposal, we're going to be electing what we're going to call the council elders. It's going to be 5 people, including myself, who are going to have access to the DAO treasury squads. And again, the reason why I have to do it separately is because with squads, they actually do have a built-in vault, which is a Solana wallet that can hold multiple currencies, cryptocurrencies, as well as Solana NFTs. But unfortunately, right now, they don't have that vault functionality available in the Squads version 1. So we're going to have to use Squads version 2 for that aspect of it. But Squads version 2 is only based off of manually entering people in as members. And that would become a nightmare if we're managing hundreds of people in a DAO to manage that manually. So again, in version 1, the actual members of the DAO, the Alien Supper Club holders, will vote on proposals. Anything that's approved will then move over to the council elders. who are obliged to follow out that approved proposal, whether it being purchasing NFTs and then adding them into the vault for the DAO, or maybe someone proposes, look, we have a surplus of Sol right now. I propose that we distribute it, everyone half a Sol, right? And then again, if that's what's approved, then the council elders will then, because it's going to be a multi-sig wallet, by the way, I forgot to mention that. In version 2, that treasury vault is actually multi-sig, meaning that just one person can't go in there and start taking money out. It has to be approved by all 5 council members in order for that transaction to go through. So it also provides some accountability and transparency as well. So this is all brand new. They just released the Squads version 2.0. Version 2 earlier this week. I've been waiting on it for the last month or so. So I'm very excited that it's finally out and that we're going to have a chance to use it, because I think it's going to provide some great functionality to our DAO members.
Yeah, that's great. And I really love what you said, how each NFT gets more than one vote. Our whole project's kind of centered on Discord at this moment, but I have been looking into like realms from Solana, and I think I saw Squads V1 too. Squad version 1 as well, I should say.
Yeah.
But we definitely will be looking, at least for the election capabilities, to tell our members to head over to Squads. The thing with our project is we're going to have most of our money off chain. Like I said, we'll have a primary focus in just traditional investments and equities. So while we still can do the governance and elections in a really smart way, utilizing these like you said, squads or whatever, but we can't necessarily tie our money up, or most of it up, in a treasury wallet, because most of it's going to be managed by a corporation. So we do our best to try to be as transparent as possible with both who we are and what our business title is. We're going to be looking to audit our treasury reports, at least our annual report, but maybe even in the future, even every quarter, look to get a third-party audit for those. But I do love what you're talking about with having multi-sig wallets, and I wish there was some sort of infrastructure. I wish we could buy equities with Sol and we could cut cash out of the whole equation. But
sure.
I definitely love what you're talking about with Squads, and we will definitely be looking to use it for elections for the Griffin DAO as well.
Cool.
So I had a question for you, actually, Jim. So what is your, obviously I looked at your Discord. I'm a member now, so you guys are awesome over there.
Thanks.
So how do you focus on community building, keeping people informed? You're obviously providing value continuously by giving these updates, implementing Squad. What is your, how do you think about Discord? Is it like I gotta talk to these people every day, or how do you think about community building, basically?
So I try to be as active in there as I possibly can. I mean, I have a full-time day job in the casino industry, so that takes up a lot of my time, but I still try my best to be in there and participate as much. I think having a good team around me is very important. So I've got Hell's Creation here, who's in the chat, and also Colton, I see, is in here, and so is Rob. These are also my moderators over in the Discord. And they have taken the lead for me as far as helping out with the queue building and the promotion on Twitter, because that's a huge part of it, right? I mean, we're still comparatively with other Solana NFT projects, we are a very small community. I think we're only in 270 some area of current Discord members. So we're looking to build that out more. So I think communication is key, keeping folks updated, but also reminding folks of where the value is and what is coming that's going to increase the value as well. So we try to put out, like you said, announcements, updates as much as possible. Obviously, we're keeping some stuff close to our cuffs, just because we don't want to kind of let too much information out. Because unfortunately, in the NFT space, if someone hears an idea, they very well run with it and beat you to it. So but for the most part, we again, it's just keeping up the transparency, letting people know what's coming down the pike. And just helping people get excited about it, because that's the most important thing, is getting people interested and getting them to stay around by fulfilling the promises that you're making. So I'm very careful to kind of under promise and over deliver. And I've done that a couple of times already, because I'd rather have people be surprised, like, oh, this is ready sooner, this is great, instead of making these grand promises and not coming through, or maybe not coming through and meeting a deadline. So those are some of the most important things I look at as far as just building and retaining a community.
No, that's awesome. One of our focuses, and it seems like you guys are pretty similar in this, is like organic horizontal growth, person to person. Make one person happy and they'll tell another person, right? It's like that service mindset,
Sure.
which we try to aim for, which Austin alluded to. We did an open mint, create any hype before we got on marketing. We just hopped on Twitter and Discord, immediately started the mint, and that process we knew it's gonna be slow, slower than other projects, but it's definitely more rewarding. We have, Quas is in here. Quas is one of our earliest adopters. I think it was day one basically. You get people like that when you do it this way. It's just a little bit more natural. How do you think about this? Is kind of related to what I was just saying, but what is your process for growth? I know I was talking to Hell's Creation earlier about trying to get across a curve, which I would say 99% of projects in Solana have a learning curve because we're all so new to it. And how do you bridge the gap between people that are just getting into Solana or people that have been in Solana but this idea is new to them?
That's a good question. I mean, I think, when I make my announcements or kind of talk about future things and with our roadmap, I try to write it out as clearly as possible, to try to keep it as simple of a read as possible. But you're right, it can get very complicated and convoluted, especially people that are new. And I can tell you, a lot of my early adopters with the Alien Supper Club were new to the NFT space, and I've seen them grow, along this process over the last couple of months since we initially, brought everything online. I think another big thing that we've done a couple of, and I think as a team we need to do a better job of on our end, is doing more of these like Twitter Spaces or town hall AMAs within our Discord, to have a chance to really get in front of our community members and have a chance to speak to them and to answer questions directly. It's nice, looking at an avatar and text all the time, but having that personal aspect of hearing someone's voice or seeing their face definitely can go a long way and help to, I think, create some better understanding. So that's probably the best.
We're losing Alien Supper Club just a little bit.
Yeah, sorry. Every time I get on these spaces, I get rubbed out by a phone call. Sorry about that.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, just doing more, multimedia type presentations or interactions with community members, I think is going to be the best way to help people grow and understand and learn the Solana NFT space.
Right, we're totally on board with that. It's same thing over here. I think the Discord spaces or the voice chats, I think that's actually probably a good idea. We haven't done any of those yet, but there is the kind of funnel issue with getting people from Twitter to Discord or vice versa, Discord back to Twitter for this. So that could be really helpful. Just remove as many steps as possible from your users to get in touch with you. So we'll probably start doing some of those as well. Were you guys on Moonroving? Is that where I think I saw you guys on Moonroving?
Yeah, we were on the Morning Mint show last week. Was it Friday? So we were right. Very lucky to get a slot on one of his shows because he does a great job of getting quality projects out in front of the masses.
Quick question about that. Did you notice like any like growth after that? Did you notice people hopping over to Discord? I mean, the questions alone, right? Just like getting your name out there and talking with a great interviewer who takes his time to do research is good enough, right? But I'm just curious because we are looking into getting on his show as well. Did you notice any positive effect from that, numbers wise?
Slight, not quite what I expected, to be perfectly honest with you. I think maybe that day we gained 9 new Discord members during the actual show, and I think we've seen a steady amount over the last, like over the weekend, maybe a few new people that maybe listened into the replay. Wasn't a huge increase as far as what I thought it would be, because again, that show, I think the episode that we were on had about almost 500 listeners while the show was live. Wow. So it was kind of a small percentage that actually came through. But to be honest, I mean, we were on there with some real heavy hitter projects, right? That, we couldn't necessarily compare to at this point in time. But again, I think any what's the word? Any visibility is good visibility, right? If we were just able to get to 1 or 2 people and get them on board with what we're doing, as far as I'm concerned, it was well worth it.
No, that's exactly right. I was just curious because we've applied a couple times and we're still applying. So it's just one of those things. I haven't spoken to a collection that's been on
Yeah.
there yet, so I
And
appreciate
you know,
that.
I can tell you that same with me. I applied when I first launched the Alien Supper Club, heard nothing back. I mean, because I think it takes a good amount for him to understand the value. I mean, what got us on this time, the first time, was, you know, I had, you know, sent him a DM. He was like, yeah, fill out the form, blah, blah, blah. I sent another DM. I said, hey, I filled out the form, but look, you know, really would like to have a chance to explain to you what we're doing, have you understand what's going on. You know, let me know what I can do. And he said, well, you know, just shoot me, an overview of what's going on. I also noticed that he does this new thing called like a folio fam or something like that. Like it basically where you donate one of your NFTs to this portfolio. And when you do that, he will actually do a tweet and a write up about you. So I did that, and then after that, I followed him. I said, "Look, here's what we're doing." And I wrote him like a 2-page overview, very detailed of each of our aspects of our project and the DAO, and said, "Look, I'd love to be on the show." And then finally, after that, um, the next day, I think he put up, "Hey, you know," he put a tweet up saying, "Hey, what projects would you like to hear from?" And I went into our Discord and said, "Look, everybody, here's this tweet. Hammer it home, right? Tell Moon what you think of our community, what you think of our projects. Say you'd love to see us." And our community delivered. I mean, they hammered that tweet with replies about Alien Supper Club and the Lost Aliens. And then the next day, he said, "Yeah, I'd like to have you on before your mint date." Yeah.
Wow.
So the community is definitely, if you have a strong community behind you that's willing to go out there and it's a kind of a point you guys made earlier, right? You provide great service to a few people. Those people, they're going to turn around and talk about you if you do good things for them. And that's what I've seen. We have some members of our community who are just stellar with getting out there on Twitter and retweeting and putting up, new tweets, creating, like Rob, he's the man. He creates all these custom videos for us using our images and tweets them out all over the place. And it's helping to attract attention. And that's what it's all about, right? So definitely leveraging your community to help with those types of things is always going to give you good results.
Yeah, well, that's that. I appreciate you walking through that process, because it seems like everyone in the space has their own unique way of getting in contact with different people. It's like, do space, talk to this one collection, they know this collection, and then you can have a connection through that. Or, but that's we'll probably pursue that process with the Fanfolio. So thanks for that. We got a question. Is this Rob? Rob's requesting someone to add you as a speaker, Rob. Yeah, I'm curious to see, because I'm the video man over here. I wear a couple hats, so I know Rob's up here to speak. But if we don't have any other questions, I might toss it back to Austin a little bit, chat about possibly.
One thing I wanted to jump in and talk about is one thing about our project, Matt, is that because, well, I guess this is for any NFT project, but because we have such a big focus on just traditional equities, it's been a bit of a challenge to try to bring on people that maybe have no idea how to get into the NFT space, or even specifically like Solana NFTs. So this week we're putting out a simple tutorial video from us, just talking about how to set up a Phantom wallet, how to fund it, how to mint. And so we're looking to obviously target Solana NFTs, and that's why getting on Moon Roving and other speakers and just like you said, being in spaces as much as possible is good. But we're excited to maybe start expanding to try to target just traditional finance communities, because again, we're looking to build kind of an investing club using NFTs as like a tool. And I love what we've done in just this first month since launch. And we, like we said, we launched with an immediate open mint, because we felt like we could serve, even if we had 30 people who bought our NFTs and it was a investment club of 30 people and the investments are split among those 30, then we're still delivering a lot of value, and our NFTs retain their intrinsic value, basically because we're just transferring the mint revenue to the DAO's treasury, and we're really the only way that our community loses funding, or I guess the way the NFT's value goes down is only when the treasury goes down. So we felt like we could continue to grow and serve at a very small community size, but we are excited to try to continue to grow even outside the NFT space and bring more people in to Solana NFTs in general. So I just wanted to touch on that really quick. But
that's
Matt,
a good pivot. Now that Rob's up here to speak, so I'm just curious. We have kind of focused on being a content creation machine a little bit. again, it's just kind of me over here making videos and making graphics. But getting outside of the Solana ecosystem to try to market to people, have you guys looked into doing that at all? Are you getting on other platforms that aren't well known for NFTs? Are you on Facebook or using ad services anywhere else? Or is it just mainly organic, kind of like how we've been so far?
Yeah, it's been organic, basically just Twitter based. I tried Instagram initially, but Instagram is just so filled with bots and junk. I really didn't get anything at all out of Instagram. So all of our followers, members, have basically come from Twitter or from just word of mouth um, with other NFT projects out there. And another big boost that we saw to our community also was when the minting ended for the Alien Supper Club, and we got listed on Magic Eden. Those few days when our project was on their featured page for new collections, that really helped to bring some new into the project, including a few of the mods we have on the team, including Hell. So that was a great opportunity for us too.
So you guys are sold out, is that correct?
Yeah, the Alien Supper Club minted out. We actually had to burn it. That project was initially 1,000, but we kind of stalled. So we capped it at 200 NFTs.
Okay.
So yeah, there's around 30 or 35, I think, listed on Magic Eden today. So that's really the only way for people to get into the Alien Supper Club and the IPCC DAO at this point is to pick up one off of Magic Eden.
Okay. And what was the application process? What did that look like for you to get on Magic Eden?
They have a form on their website. You fill out everything like your candy machine ID, just the basic information. How many NFTs are there? What was the mint price? Description of the project, and really, from the time I submitted the application to the time they actually published us was maybe only about 36 hours or so. Wow. So it was a pretty quick turnaround for them, at least at that point. I'm not sure where they're at now, but I was surprised. It was a pretty smooth process.
What was the logistics around your burn? Because again, we kind of opened with just 10,000. I always knew that we could burn, but we wanted to take in as many community members as we could early on. But it may be healthier. We don't want people to not be able to trade for forever. So right. What was the logistics around your burn?
So truly, the burn hasn't occurred yet. What I did is I took the minting website offline, so no one has the ability to mint from that initial mint site anymore. And I'm just waiting for all of the ancillary things to be set up based off of the candy machine ID. Now I know it'll still exist. I'm just doing it to be on the safe side. But basically, what I'll do is I'll do a withdraw command on the candy machine, which is that's the smart contract that manages the mint. And once you do that withdrawal, it actually deactivates that candy machine on the blockchain completely. So anything that's still in there that wasn't minted will never be able to be touched again by anybody. Yeah. So that's really the best way to burn those. The only other way to burn them would be to mint them all individually myself, and then actually do the burn. But that would cost me thousands of dollars in transaction fees, and I'm not doing that.
Right. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I guess my only question is, so when you list with Magic Eden, do they pull your total collection, like numbers from the metadata, or do they just trust what you tell them as far as total supply?
No, they require you to provide a hash list of all of the minted NFTs to them. So they basically have the unique ID of each NFT that was minted, and that's what they use to add them. Yep.
Yeah, because our project, we're going to be airdropping Sol every quarter based on earnings and that thing. So we have done snapshots and stuff. So I was interested to see. So they asked for your candy machine ID, but they also asked for like a snapshot of mints, or do they? I mean, it's easy enough to do, but do they do? Or do you provide?
You have to provide it to them, and they actually have a hash list, a hash tool right there on Magic Eden, where you basically just type in your candy machine, and then it spins for a few minutes, and it spits out all of the IDs for all your NFTs, and you just save that in a JSON file and attach it and send it to them.
Yeah, I've used something very similar, but okay, that answers my question then. So whenever, I mean, like I said, we're going to try to keep growing, and but if we ever need to do a burn, it's as easy as withdrawing from the candy machine and snapshotting the mint or the tokens that have been minted.
Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Cool. You guys have been like a vault of information here, so I appreciate that. You guys being so open and sharing. So yeah, I guess I don't have too many other questions, and obviously I'm the art guy, right? So I'm kind of more interested in the art side of this a little bit. So you guys have other collections down the pipeline.
Yeah.
How do you plan that? Are you guys using the same artist, or are you guys like kind of going to a different kind of person for that?
Yeah, so probably for our next collection, it's going to be a different artist. We're still looking for someone to do that because we're going to be the next collection is going to be like 3D art as opposed to 2D cartoon art like we've had for the first two. So yeah, we're going to be looking to mix it up. I think as we go along, we want them to kind of have the same kind of feel, but also be unique, right? Because again, the future collections are going to mint at a higher value. So obviously, if we're going to ask for a higher value, we're going to have to up the game, right? So yeah, we're in the process of looking for a 3D artist right now.
So we're kind of in a similar boat. I don't know if you had a chance to check out our structure a bit. I know we have some graphics that explain the next coming year, but we also plan on launching future collections, basically based on demand only. We're not going to pump out a collection if our community is not prepared for it. But I love that idea because what you guys are basically offering is by using other artists, you're really able to promote people that may not be in the space yet or may have traditional 3D art skills but haven't touched NFTs. So it's really good for onboarding people. That's kind of our thinking is some of these artists out there are really talented. I've been in the indie art circuit for a little bit. I got my degree in digital arts, and these people are really talented. They don't know where to go or how to touch the space. So being a collection that can kind of hold their hand and walk them through it, it's really respectable. But uh, one suggestion I would make is so I don't know if you know her name. She's been in a ton of spaces. Her name's Soma AI. Might have heard of her.
I have not, but I'll write that down.
Okay, Soma AI. She and her husband are at least one of them's an engineer, and they both produce like AI art, but they have a ton of spaces with really unique artists in the space. Not all of them do collections. A lot of them do one-on-ones. So if you're looking for artists who are skilled but haven't dropped a collection yet, check her out because her spaces are kind of full of those people. Um, that'd be my one suggestion on that. But yeah, like the whole onboarding new artists idea. They don't have to have a huge name either. That's the thing. You guys are providing your collection as the backing to it, right? So you're just no one knows who the artist is, but you guys are the face of it. So love that. I think maybe Austin can touch on the structure, like how we're kind of thinking about that in the future a little bit, like the treasury structure of it.
Yeah. Well, it's a great way to bring on basically more funding or more capital for us, and we can do it as long I think is it needs to be at a higher valuation relative to like what our Griffin NFT holders own. So if they have if the intrinsic value of their NFTs are $100 or whatever, we need to bring new collection sales in at a value that makes it worthwhile for them. So again, when we sell NFTs, they actually have equity in our treasury. So if we're gonna say the Griffins are 50%, if we're gonna do another collection that is equal equity to the Griffin collection, they probably need to pay at least 1.5 times what the intrinsic value of Griffins are, so that when there's demand there, we can add funding to our treasury, and the previous collections directly benefit from onboarding those new people via a new collection. And so that's why for our treasury growth, we can say we burn Griffins all the way down to 100 people. We can do a new collection and bring on even more people once the community's grown more. And the Griffins can directly benefit from bringing in those new people and that new amount of money. So it's a great way to, like I said, for us, we're basically an investing club. So it's a great way to onboard new people. And each new collection, we're going to be partnering with a different artist who can bring some really cool and unique art to the space as well. So we just love, like I said, we love the using NFTs as basically a tool. And we're just excited because we can bring in people from all over the world, and without any sort of middleman, we can pay them instantly. So it's really great to utilize NFTs in this way.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean the future is really exciting because we're so early. Like the total, I think I saw there was a space with Space Goats and Solanauts. Their commish, the guy who's kind of in charge of Solanauts, was talking about there's a great quote. There's never been a time in history where art has preceded function. Like previously, usually it's function and then you make it pretty. So like you try to get out of the weather, so you have a cave, and that cave supported a group of people, and now they're like, well, we want to live in something a little prettier than a cave, and they make a house, and now they columns, and everything's beautiful again. But with us, it's like we have the art first, and now we're figuring out how to use it functionally. Where's the utility that we can provide with it? So it's a really unique time. I love that reference, and our job is kind of scrambling in the dark here, trying to figure out how to use these things. So I love bringing on collections like you guys who are kind of innovating in your area, and how we can share these ideas with each other. It just really helps improve for both of our communities, right? So can't be more grateful for you guys coming on here. If we have any questions, I think now is a great time. We can give someone a speaker role if they'd like to hop up. Otherwise, we can probably start to tamper down and wrap the day, I think.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming on too. I love your project, and I do think there's a lot of parallels between our two projects, which is exciting as well. And I hope we have future collaborations too as our communities both grow.
Yeah, I'd definitely be interested. Thank you for having us on. And if you don't mind, if I could just do a quick shill um, of our new project that starts minting on Wednesday, The Lost Aliens. It's a collection of 800 aliens, and kind of the idea is that, and while this is a completely new collection with enhanced art, lore wise, these are those 800 aliens that never quite made it to Earth from that first mint, right? So the story is there were 1,000 that were trying to escape their home planet Lobo. Only 200 of them made it here to Earth. The other 800 were thought to be lost. But lo and behold, the aliens here on Earth were able to track their tracking beacons on the 4 UFOs that were bringing the rest of them, and they're finally about to head back to Earth. So these guys are dropping on Wednesday. 0.51 Sol is the mint price. 800 NFTs. We have some unique one of ones in the collection. The 4 alien UFOs. If you look at one of the pinned shared tweets up at the top there, there's a little preview of those 4 UFOs. Those NFTs are going to have some unique perks attached to them directly in the metadata. So if you are the owner of one of those UFO NFTs, you actually are going to be entitled to either 1, 2, 3, or 4 free mints from every future Solana Alien Collective project that we release in the future. And those perks will stay with the NFT. So if someone decides to sell that NFT on Magic Eden, whoever buys that NFT is going to buy that capability or perk of getting those free mints in the future. And also, these are the only 4 NFTs from this collection that will also earn IPCC coin, just like how the Alien Supper Clubs do. Except these UFOs will receive 200 IPCC coin per month. So another cool aspect of this mint is we have these one of ones that really have these unique features of added value, and that just if you get lucky to get one, you're going to get hundreds of dollars worth of free NFTs in the future. So we thought that was a real neat way to kind of promote people to mint more, the possibility of getting these guys. So we're really excited to see who ends up with them. But again, thank you guys for having us on. We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, I love that, man. I definitely love the lore and everything there too. And you said your background, you work at a casino or a day job or whatever. So I see the appeal of having those one of ones. It is a really good incentive. So, but no, it's really exciting. NFT for Cause, I see you in here, man. Welcome in. I shouted you out earlier when we were going over the report.
Oh, that's great.
One of your
I wanted to hop in and say hi. I saw that they got a notification that you guys were going over your treasury report, so that sounded really exciting. And I hadn't heard of the other project, the Alien Supper Club. So that's really cool to hear what you guys are doing. So
thanks.
Super cool. If you guys do, I'm sure Austin already mentioned, we have the free services for Solana projects. So if you guys need Discord verification or sales tracking, definitely reach out. You can get set up.
I appreciate it. Actually, I had just, because we did Moon Roving show last week, and I joined the private Discord, and I actually had replied to a post you made about it. And I said I was definitely interested in it, so I did check it out. We may end up using some of your tools for us.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Let me know if you have any questions.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, Aaron is great. And Aaron, if you do get a chance to look at the treasury report, you'll see it just says partner NFTs. In future monthly reports, we're going to have an investments page that kind of breaks down our investment portfolio in more detail. And in those subsequent reports, they'll actually enumerate which NFTs we're holding as a partner NFT. So you'll be actually listed there. But if you just look at February, it just says partner. But anyway,
glad to be partnered with you guys.
Hey, glad to have you. Glad to have you, man. So I think that's great. I love making connections in our spaces. So that's a win for everyone here. And we'll wrap it up now. Again, thank you, Alien Supper Club, and your community for hopping in here. Love to see us exchanging kind of information in the future and maybe working together in other ways and sharing communities. But again, thanks. And everyone who checked out the Treasury Report, if you have any questions, you can hop over to our Discord. We're happy to go into depth and answer those for you. So we'll be back again Thursday at 1 p.m. We had originally scheduled for 3 p.m. We'll be back at 1 p.m. with Space Goats, doing an AMA with them. And without further ado, I'll see you guys on Thursday. Have a good day. Stay safe. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Have a good day. Stay safe. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Griffin Investments DAO. Join the path on Discord.